Igor Tudor has come out and said, "I'm here to resolve the problems. We must change habits. The Champions League draw will take place on Friday in Switzerland." Harry Redknapp has come out and said that Igor Tudor is a big gamble at Tottenham. Results are shocking. The Guardian has stated that Conor Gallagher is Tottenham's highest paid player at £200,000 a week, and Tottenham will keep paying high wages in the summer. Dele's love for the Tottenham Hotspur fans. More reports about Vicario leaving in the summer. Paul Scholes has come out and said that Spurs are in big trouble. Rooney has said that Tottenham are miles off it. And Gary Neville on the shock of the century. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And before I get into it, we are taking on a charity challenge. Craig Dearman, channel regular, and myself. In March, we will be abseiling down the side of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. If you can support us, we're raising money for the London ambulance service. Your support would be really, really appreciated. Here are all of the details. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. Now myself and channel regular Craig Dearman will be supporting the London Ambulance charity by taking part in the big stadium abseil on the 19th of March 2026. Now, I've got to say, I actually did the Skywalk a couple of years ago, and this was a big thing for me because I am not that fond of heights, and neither is Craig, to be honest. But this time it is going to be completely different because we are both abseiling down the side of the South Stand, and we are absolutely petrified. Now, the London Ambulance Service actually approached us to do this to raise as much money as we can for them. I couldn't turn this down because, of course, this place is very close to my heart. Now, we will be descending down 42 metres back to the ground, raising vital funds for life-saving equipment and CPR training across London, as well as supporting well-being initiatives for the dedicated staff. Now, if you can help us and donate anything you can, the link is on the screen now. It is www.justgiving.com/page/Tottenham Stadium, and your support is always really, really appreciated. Now, if you'd actually like to get involved and join Craig and I on the 19th of March at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium by taking part in the Skywalk and abseiling down the side of the South Stand, it would be great to see you there cheering us on, and we can also cheer you on as well. But get involved, visit the London Ambulance website for all of the details, and thank you so much for all of your incredible support. Now, let's start by talking about the Premier League table. Spurs are currently 16th in the table. We have 29 points from the opening 27 games. There are 11 Premier League games left of this campaign. We are sitting just 4 points above West Ham, who are in the relegation zone right now in 18th. They have 25 points from 27 games. Now, Spurs boss Igor Tudor on what he wants from his players. More of everything, he said. Our goal is to become a team, a serious team with responsibility to each of the players. That is the goal. I speak from day one at the club. I come here to resolve the problems. You believe that in 3-4 trainings, you will do your best. But when the game starts, you don't know what will happen because it is like this. But as I said before, Tuesday, I come in, everyone there, stay humble. This is the key of each of us and trying to become what I said before, a team, a squad, a hard-working team. This is the only goal we have now in this moment. Igor Tudor then went on to say, I said to the players, stay quiet. They come on Tuesday and reset after these 3 or 4 training sessions to work harder than we did until now, to change our habits, to change the state of mind, which is now, as a team, it is the only way to work. Now, Tottenham Hotspur or Liverpool will face Atletico Madrid, Galatasaray or Juventus in the last 16 of the Champions League. Club Brugge were a possible opponent for Spurs, but they have now been knocked out. Juventus will play Galatasaray on Wednesday evening. Galatasaray are 5-2 up from the first leg. The draw will take place on Friday at UEFA headquarters in Switzerland. Proceedings will get underway at 11 a.m. UK time. The last 16 is split into two brackets, and Friday's draw will set out Tottenham's path to Budapest. Now, on this day, on the 24th of Feb 2008, Spurs beat Chelsea 2-1 at Wembley Stadium in the Carling Cup final. Goals, of course, from Berbatov and Jonathan Woodgate. Now, Sky Sports have released a video showing the ref cam of referee Peter Banks from the North London derby. Now, when Peter Banks was talking to the Tottenham Hotspur players after Kolo Muani's goal was disallowed, he clearly shouted, "It is a clear foul, end of." Former Spurs boss Harry Redknapp has come out and said that he would have loved to have returned to Tottenham after the recent departure of Thomas Frank. Talking on TalkSport, he said, "For sure, I would have done this. I would have definitely had a go. I would have loved to have been back there." A lot of ex-players came out and said that they would have liked me back as well, and I would have loved it. Now, they have now brought somebody else in, Igor Tudor. Nobody knows him. He's had a lot of jobs. He has been around the block, but he hasn't managed in England. He is a big gamble, but you cannot blame him. It is how the results have been for months. It's shocking. The Guardian have just reported that Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Conor Gallagher is Tottenham's highest paid player, earning around £200,000 a week. The signing of Gallagher is viewed as a major turning point at the club, with Tottenham now likely to offer similar high salaries when chasing players in the upcoming summer transfer window. The Football Insider have just reported that Barcelona are currently the favourites to sign Bournemouth centre-back Marcos Senesi on a free transfer this coming summer, but the likes of Tottenham, Newcastle, Aston Villa and Everton are all showing a strong interest in the 27-year-old, but it is understood that the option of a move to Barcelona is one that the player would find extremely hard to turn down. Former Premier League boss Sam Allardyce has been talking about Kolo Muani's disallowed goal against Arsenal on Sunday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in our 4-1 defeat. He said the referee made a massive error by disallowing Kolo Muani's second goal. Gabriel should have been booked. Now, it was a great night on Monday for the Tottenham Hotspur women. They were in FA Cup action in the fifth round away at London City Lionesses. The game finished 2-2. Even after extra time, it remained 2-2. It went to a penalty shootout and Spurs won the shootout 9-8. They scored all 9 goals and Kopp saving London City Lionesses' penalty right at the end of the shootout. Now, the Spurs women will now face Chelsea away in the FA Cup quarter-final. Now, the quarter-final ties will be scheduled across the weekend of Saturday and Sunday, the 4th and 5th of April, with the full schedule to be confirmed. Now, winning clubs from the quarter-finals will receive £90,000 from the competition prize for the 25-26 competition, while the losing teams will collect £22,500. The draw in full, Charlton will take on Liverpool, Chelsea against Spurs, Arsenal will take on Brighton, and Birmingham City will take on Manchester City. Now, the Spurs women are next in action against Everton in the WSL on the 15th of March in just under 3 weeks' time when they face Everton at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Now, I spoke to Spurs women boss Martin Ho straight after the final whistle. This is what he had to say. Martin, many congratulations. What do you make of the game?
Yeah, I thought we played well in large parts of the first half. I think deservedly so when at half time with the goal. We rode our luck a little bit at the end of the first half. We had other moments where I thought we could have been a bit more ruthless. And then second half we started too slow. We kind of committed a little bit deeper and didn't get up to the ball close enough. And then, to be fair, the strike's really good from Yana Fernandez. And I think then actually the response after that I thought was really good. We pushed them back, we put them on the back foot. We changed things tactically a little bit. We put more players on the back line and were more aggressive with the forwards and fullbacks. And then we get a moment at the end where we get a penalty, we take it. It's a wonderful penalty by Beth. And then, yeah, in extra time I thought there was some moments we had. But the players looked a little bit tired maybe when you got to the back end of that first block of the extra time. And then when you get to, it's a lottery when you get to penalties. But you have to show the courage to step up. And the players who stepped up, very good, well executed penalties. And then Lisa makes another save, and she seems to have a bit of a knack for doing that.
She did make some important saves, one in the first half, one in the second half as well.
Yeah, and we know that in the big moments, when for a goalkeeper, when you don't have a lot to do and being active in terms of making those saves, when it does come down to it, you want your keeper to produce. And yeah, Lisa's produced in moments in this game, and their keepers have to produce in moments. But then the big moment when it needs to be produced, when Lisa saves the last penalty, is big.
I take it you've been practicing penalties all week?
No, we haven't actually practiced any. And that's not out of a willingness of not wanting to do it. It's just more focus on the game, try and win the game in 90 minutes, and if it goes to extra time, then it's a lottery. And the players stepping up, they just have to believe in it. And I said to them when we went into the huddle, like, I just want you to step up, commit to what you're going to do, and whatever happens, because there's a lot of pressure on them when they have to walk up there and do it.
At the half-time point of extra time, you had a word with the referee. What did you say?
No, more just about some of the late tackles that were going in, and
yeah.
When your players are fatigued and you're tired, and some of these late tackles can be a little bit probably dangerous on the end of it, depending on the outcome. So I was just saying, can we just be a little bit more careful and watchful of them, because a lot of them were late off the ball, and if they happen more often than not when you're tired, you can pick up injuries, and I don't want the players to do that, especially when some of them are going to represent the countries. And but he was good, he was very good, he understood it, and he was just trying to get some rhythm in the game. Through
to the quarterfinals, of course, going to be another tough game away at Chelsea.
Yeah, and if you wanna get to the final, you have to play the best, you have to beat the best to get there, and that's now Chelsea in the quarter-final. It's another quarter-final for this club, I think, which is important. And if we go there, we have to go with belief and confidence, and we've had a good game against them recently in the league, in large part, so we need to make sure we perform at that level but higher again.
Martin, lastly from me, of course, 3 weeks now until you're next in action. What does the next 3 weeks look like for you?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of work to still do, some meetings and some things we need to look into moving forward for the future of the club. The players and staff will have 5 days off now. Players will go away on international duty, and then we'll regroup the end of this week and start building into everything.
First of all, congratulations on what was an epic penalty shootout. I've got to ask you the question though, seeing the fans at the end, what does it mean to celebrate with the fans in that spectacular fashion?
Yeah, unbelievable, because as I was saying to Chris, when you see them doing that over here, they're in front of our fans. Lisa makes a big save, every penalty we score, they're cheering, and they've come out in a lot of numbers there, and I think the fan bases grew for this group of players every single week, and throughout the season it's got bigger and bigger, and I want away support like that's out singing and out shouting. The home crowd, I think, is a real big kudos to them. So no, we're very thankful, very blessed to have a fan base that supports us home and away, and through highs and lows, and yeah, I can't ask any more of them.
And obviously, throughout the game, Tottenham Hotspur has sort of battled in defence in particular. How important was that defensive effort, particularly when you guys were either in the lead or behind, to sort of keep that defensive effort throughout? Yeah,
it's important. I think we knew, even though in large parts of the game we pushed them back, and we had some moments. They're a good team, and when they have the ball, sometimes you have to suffer, and you have to put your body in front of the ball to block. You're going to have to get up to the ball to deny them opportunities to shoot or cross, and I think then when you have to defend the box, you have to do it well. But against top teams like this with top players, you have to be prepared to defend, and I thought we'd done that for large parts. There were some moments we rode our luck, so did they, but we come out on top with that luck today.
And obviously you mentioned a bit about obviously riding your luck sometimes, things like that really. Do you think this game was sort of the game between the fine margins between winning and losing?
Yeah, definitely, and I think you need some things to go your way. You need the ball to bounce your way sometimes in the game, you need the ball to fall your way, and I think it did for us in large parts, but I think if you look over the course of the game, they've had moments and rode momentum, and we've had moments and rode our momentum, and they took 2 of their chances early in the second half, and I think we pushed, and we had numerous opportunities in and around the box, and you just want to capitalise on some of them, and I'm delighted it goes to penalties, which is, as I said, it's a lottery, but brilliant by the players, the courage to step up, and then brilliant by Lisa again to save the one to help us win it.
Okay. Now, Spurs centre-back Ashley Phillips, currently on loan at Stoke City. He's come out and said that he would be open to another loan at Stoke City beyond this season. He said, "I'd love to. It's a fantastic club, but we've got to see how the season finishes, and we will go from there for next year. I love being here. It's a fantastic club. I'm very thankful for how they have developed me as a player. I feel like I owe everything to Stoke, and that is why I've been so keen to achieve great things this season, which I'm still very positive about. I forget sometimes that I'm a lone player too. It feels like I've been here forever, to be fair. It's a great club. The fans are great. The staff are great. And I'm loving my time here." Now, Ashley Phillips is under contract at Spurs until 2028. Now, Team Talk are reporting about a new goalkeeper. They are stating that Tottenham Hotspur are intensifying their search for a new goalkeeper. 21-year-old Lens shot-stopper Robin Risser has emerged as an option to replace Vicario, who the club have decided to offload this coming summer. Tottenham's hierarchy have already made the decision to move on from the current first-choice goalkeeper, Vicario, at the end of this season, regardless of who takes over as the club's next permanent manager. Now, former Tottenham Hotspur star and fans' favourite Dele Alli was back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as a half-time guest on Sunday. He was talking about his time at the football club and said, "We were a family. We felt like we gave everything and the fans really pushed us on and helped us to win each game. It happened over and over again. It was a special team. I met some people that I'd call friends and family for life, from the players to the staff to even some of the fans. It was very special." Dele then went on to say, "There are no words to describe how you guys made me feel. No matter where I am in the world, you always show me incredible love and support. Wherever I am in the world, wherever I've been, if I meet a Tottenham fan, it is always love. I just want you to know that I love you guys as much as you love me. Hopefully my entertainment on the pitch was good and you could see the fight and passion that I have. I can't wait to be back out on the pitch playing again. Hopefully it's not too long now. I love you all." Now, since the Arsenal game on Sunday, Tottenham Hotspur have come under a lot of criticism, and that includes Igor Tudor as well. Now, Premier League legend Paul Scholes believes that Spurs should have appointed Sam Allardyce and not Igor Tudor. He said it looked terrible against Arsenal, the choice of manager that they have brought in. I know he is an interim, but he doesn't know the Premier League. I was walking in here to do this podcast, and Sam Allardyce is there, and you're thinking that this has got him written all over it. The first thing he probably does at a football club like this, when he goes into a team, stop us getting beat so easily, stop us conceding chances. Paul Scholes then goes on to say he probably wouldn't care about the rest of it, about scoring goals, because there's probably enough quality in that Tottenham Hotspur team at some point so you can get a goal, whether it's a set piece or something, but make them solid to beat. I saw a stat about after about 40 minutes that Tottenham had touched the ball once in Arsenal's box. Arsenal had like 24 touches. It is incredible, and you're away from home as well. It's incredible. Scholes then went on to say, I know the lad's done it twice at big clubs at Juventus and Lazio. He's done the same thing, gone in as an interim boss and done really well, but coming to the Premier League, it is different. Paul Scholes then went on to say, did you see what happened a couple of weeks ago when they sacked Thomas Frank? They gave the players 5 days off. 5 days off. They are in big trouble, aren't they? Now, former Premier League star Nicky has also been talking about Tottenham and Igor Tudor. He said if you're a Tottenham fan watching this right now and watching that game against Arsenal, you'd be thinking we are in serious trouble. He's obviously a very good coach, but when you bring in an interim manager into that dynamic, you just want someone to galvanise the changing room and get everyone to a position where you want them running through walls for you. Nicky Butt then goes on to say, it sounds crazy this, but go and take them for a little trip away and get the camaraderie back together and get them wanting to play together, wanting to run through brick walls for each other. I don't see the manager doing that. I see the manager getting them on the coaching pitch, which they have to do, don't get me wrong. But first and foremost, you've got to galvanise that changing room and get them all together. Wayne Rooney has also weighed in on Tottenham. He said Tottenham are just not a good team. A big six club, if you go through the squad and the players, they are in the position they should be. It's obviously a big club with a nice stadium and nice training ground, but I don't think the players are good enough to compete at the top end of the Premier League table. Forest have a better squad than Spurs, and they are in a similar position in the league table. Whether the fans or the club thinking that they are a top six team, they aren't. They are miles off it. Gary Neville has also been talking about Tottenham and possible relegation. He said Tottenham are in trouble. Last season they skirted with it a little bit, relegation, but they were always sort of clear of it. You never felt that they were going to go down. This season they have got some real work to do. They have to do it quickly, by the way, because I watched West Ham and I watched Nottingham Forest, and they've got something about them that you think that they are going to pick up points. Neville then went on to say, so it's not going to be the case of Tottenham can just sit there and think that this is going to happen. They're going to have to work hard and get out of this mess. It is unthinkable. You think of this amazing, great football club, but on the football side of it, they have undelivered for many years. It would be the shock of the century, wouldn't it? Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about Igor Tudor and his comments. I'm here to resolve the problems. We must change habits. Of course, I believe that some of these players don't know whether they're coming or going right now. Some of them are still thinking about the formations and what we did under Ange Postecoglou. Then, of course, Thomas Frank, and now Igor Tudor has come in. He's had 3 to 4 training sessions. He's trying to communicate with these players. He's trying to tell these players what to do, especially in the Arsenal game. Some players clearly didn't listen to what he was saying, and I just think that some of these players look really, really confused. I just hope that this week now, leading up to the Fulham game, Igor Tudor can, really deliver the message to some of these players, particularly some of these players that weren't listening on Sunday or looked confused, whatever way you want to look at it. There was clear problems in that defensive line. He was talking to Mickey van der Ven. He was talking to other defenders. He kept calling players over when there was a break in play as well, trying to get his message across. And he looked frustrated as well. I uploaded a couple of videos on YouTube. Igor Tudor looked frustrated with his own players on Sunday because some of these players weren't doing what he wanted them to do. And they looked equally frustrated because it kind of looked like they didn't understand what they were doing. But more time is needed. And I think that a lot of us, the disappointing thing is, if you're going to make that manager change, we made it with 12 Premier League games to go. And, when you look at, the teams around us at the moment, Forest are 2 points, below us. West Ham are 4 points below us. Burnley are sitting in 19th. They're 10 points below us. When you look at some of these teams like Forest and West Ham, you look at Leeds, you look at Crystal Palace, they've all picked up points. Spurs are now the only Premier League side winless in the Premier League in the calendar year of 2026, which is very, very disappointing. And I tell you what, there is a lot of very, very worried Spurs fans right now. Straight after the Arsenal game, there weren't many fans at all that stayed around after the match. I recorded the podcast and, the place was absolutely empty. And I just found on Sunday that, where people got angry, everyone was just really quiet. Everyone was just like in shock of thinking, this is a real reality about Spurs possibly going down. From the Premier League into the Championship. I tell you what, Spurs really need to knuckle down, and Igor Tudor certainly needs to work his magic in these next 11 Premier League games. Where are the wins coming from? We've got Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home, Liverpool away, Forest at home, Sunderland away, Brighton at home, Wolves away, Aston Villa away, Leeds at home, Chelsea away, and then finishing the campaign with Everton at home. I would think we would need 4 wins out of these remaining 11 games. And I'm just now living in absolute hope and praying that we're going to get these wins to keep us in the Premier League. That's all I'm living on at the moment, because am I confident of these players delivering? I can't sit here and say I am. I'd be deluded if I said that I'm feeling confident about us getting these wins. And unfortunately, and it should never ever be like this, unfortunately, I think we're all going to be sitting here just hoping that it goes painfully wrong for West Ham and the likes of Nottingham Forest. And Spurs somehow get points from some of these matches. We need points and quick. We need points and very, very fast. Sadly, where Nicky Butt, where Wayne Rooney, where Paul Scholes and also Gary Neville have been talking, it is very, very hard to disagree with what they have said. I think that so many neutral fans, so many non-Spurs fans are, fearing for Tottenham and saying, that they genuinely believe that Spurs could go down. I actually think there's a lot of Spurs fans thinking, oh, it's okay, we'll be all right. we'll be all right. But as Gary Neville said, Spurs need to dig deep now. It's not just going to be all right. These players need to give absolutely everything. These players need to be on it. These players need to be working extremely hard. When you bring in an interim manager like Igor Tudor, you've got to be listening to the manager from the off straight away. I thought it was a really good thing the other day before the Arsenal game that we saw that photograph published online of Igor Tudor, the coaching staff and the players going out for a meal. I thought that was a really good thing to do. Nicky Butt also said that about taking the players away, getting that togetherness back, wanting to be running through brick walls for one another and the manager. I completely get that because, some of these players are lacking confidence and some of these players need the togetherness within the squad and, that bond. And I'm not really seeing that at the moment, and that is really worrying as well. The fans were excellent, leading up to that Arsenal game, but sadly the quality of Arsenal, and I hate to say that as well, the quality of them, it really shone through in that second half, and we were all over the place defensively. And I think if you watch that or listen to the after match press conference with Igor Tudor, he looked really surprised. He looked as if to say, wow, what a job I've got on my hands. And he was asked that question as well. Go and check out that press conference because he was asked that question, is this a bigger job than you originally thought? And he pretty much and said, yes, it's a huge job. Really difficult times, really difficult times because, of course, we do daily content here on this channel and it's really hard at the moment because, whenever I upload a video, whenever I record a video, I want to be sitting here talking positively about Tottenham. And I tell you what, all season, it has been really tough for all of us fans. I've tried to hold on to any positives I can, but right now, I can't sit here and be confident about results, until we see a little bit of a difference in performances. And I just hope that Igor Tudor, lives up to his name of what he's done at previous clubs and the win rate that he has had, because, the worst win rate that he has had at former clubs, it would get us over the line. It would keep us in the Premier League. Of course, the Champions League draw is on Friday as well. But I think at this stage, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I never ever thought I'd be saying this, ever, as a Tottenham Hotspur fan. The Champions League draw for the last 16, that has got to be secondary, in my opinion. The Premier League games are so important to keep us actually in the top flight at this point. But what I was going to say earlier is that, we all saw the issues under Thomas Frank, months ago. If Spurs had have changed the manager a little while ago, even if it was, 4 or 5 games ago, even after that West Ham game, if they'd have changed things then, Igor Tudor would have had a little bit more time, or the manager that they would have brought in at that time, they would have had more time to work with this squad and make a difference. Is it going to be enough time? Because this is the thing, the manager's come in, he doesn't really have time. He's got 11 games in the Premier League, a minimum of 2 in the Champions League. And normally I'm a fan sitting here, really hyped up and really excited about the Champions League draw, really hyped up about, what's next for the Champions League for us. But to be honest, I don't feel excited at all because it is just about staying in the Premier League. I was on Sky Sports the other day and I think, when I spoke to Tim Sherwood and said, I'd had a sleepless night. I tell you what, after we got beat, 4-1, it was, and you know what, it wasn't even the fact that Arsenal had beaten us. It was just, all I was thinking about is the next 11 games. I'm thinking, where on earth are these points coming from for these next 11 games? And I'm trying to work it out in my head. And you would think, looking at that list, you would think Crystal Palace at home, that is a must win. You've got to win that game. Forest at home, wow, they're right behind us. We've got to win that game, 100%. The Wolves away game, you've got to be winning those, those sorts of matches. So there's 3 where you've got to be winning those matches. And I tell you what, if you're not winning those types of matches, then we are doomed. And, those other games are going to be extremely tough, especially the likes of Liverpool away, the likes of Aston Villa away, the Chelsea away game. These are all very, very tough games. But I tell you what, I can't echo those words enough of what Gary Neville said there about, Spurs need to dig deep, and, we need to, really, really put the effort in and get these results, because you can't just keep saying that Tottenham are a huge club and, Tottenham are just going to get the results, because, you've got to work for it. You've got to work extremely hard for Premier League points. Now, let's move on to talk about the Guardian report. Conor Gallagher is now Tottenham's highest paid player at £200,000 a week. I've said this many times and I will repeat it again. Tottenham, it's being stated that Tottenham will keep paying high wages in the summer. Yes, the wage structure 100% needs to change at the football club, but the decisions, bringing in the right players, the right calibre of player, this has to change at the football club. It has to improve. What is Tottenham's vision? What is the plan? And what is the ambition for the future? Because we keep hearing it. We've heard it from Johan Lange now. We've heard it from Vinay Venkatesham. We heard it from Thomas Frank about, Spurs going big in the summer. Judge the Lewis family on the summer transfer window. I tell you what, Spurs fans are sick and tired of all of these words. It is definitely now about action. When this Premier League season is over, and hoping and praying that Spurs are still a Premier League side, Spurs need to go absolutely huge. We need an exciting player, a world-class player walking through that door. I quite often say the last world-class player that we signed was Jurgen Klinsmann back in 1994. Yes, we've had some great players since then, Van der Vaart, Edgar Davids, David Ginola. We've had some great players, of course, Heung-min Son, but none of those players that came through the door at that time I would put in the world-class bracket. Very good players, by the way, but I'm talking about everyone, standing there and going, oh my God, wow, this is a top player, a world-class player that would get into any team around Europe. Klinsmann was that player in 94, and I tell you what, I'd love to feel like that again with, one hell of a player or two or three or four walking through the door, because this football club needs to change dramatically. There's a lot of people very, very frustrated again with the players, with the managerial situation, and of course with the board and with the owners. This football club needs to change, because otherwise we will just keep going around in circles. We will keep talking about new managerial appointments. We will keep talking about interim appointments. Since we moved in that stadium in 2019, and I will add in this again, Pochettino saying about you may have this wonderful mansion, but you've got to have the furniture to put in it. We've gone through 6 different permanent managers since Pochettino moved in with us in 2019 in that stadium, now through to Igor Tudor, 4 interim appointments. This, cannot go on like this. It really can't. Everyone is getting frustrated. The football club, the quality of the squad has gone downhill so rapid. This cannot go on. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna finish on a positive. I'm gonna finish on 2 positives actually. How lovely it was to see Dele Alli back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and an emotional speech from him. If you haven't seen it or heard it, I've put it out on the channel, so do check it out. The way that he speaks about that togetherness and the Pochettino days, and his teammates and the fans, etc. It just feels so different right now to what it was under or during those days with Dele at the football club. Still only 29. I hope to see him playing for a football club soon, because he is a top talent and a great player, and I just love to see him again playing wherever it is in the world. So wishing him all of the very best. And also we finish on a positive of the Spurs women are through to the quarterfinals of the Women's FA Cup. Chelsea away. Another very, very tough game. But, Spurs have been on fire. They've done extremely well this season in the WSL and in cup competitions. And, Martin Ho has, turned this football club around, and he has made the Spurs women a real force and extremely competitive. So wishing them all of the very best. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe and well, and come on you Spurs.